Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. Top of the screen, coinstrike 1, code good for 48 hours. And then there'll be a new one on the weekend I'll post for you guys. Got my calculator out. There were some conversations going on in one of the Discords that I'm in, and it was about the coinstrike coming up. And it was about why we need the entire player base, and don't think that this is just a whale driven coinstrike. This is about all players. So the guy went through all the math, and he's right. He convinced me that, this is, at the end of it, we realize that basically Evony is some sort of convoluted social experiment that tricks the top players into thinking they're so important, and the game listens to everything they say because they spend all the money, when actually it's quite possible the low coiners rule the game in terms of money. So first thing I want to show you guys before we get into it is, this is Evony's. Let's just use this roughly as their estimated revenue. $385 million. That's what they made in 23, increase in revenue. That's 2022. And in 2023, it was just below. It was about 350 million from what I heard. So let's get to it. So basically, the theory is there's not that many big coiners. So even the ridiculous amounts they do spend, it just can't make up for it. So we're going to go through some stuff here. Number of servers in Evony. This will give us a pretty rough idea. So let's just go all the way down. You'd think my number, 192, would be last place. But, surprises on you. We are not in last. Oh, wow. We're better than at least, like 300%. We're better. We're in the top, like 25% almost so far, if we look at this. How many servers are there in Evony? Wow, this is way, way more than I thought. I thought there was only 600 or 700. And it turns out there is a lot. So there is 1,174 servers. Damn. And some have negative war points. What? Okay. Wow, that is incredible. That's how many servers I saw there. When we first did this math before, we did it with like 600 or 700 servers. So this is going to actually maybe make a lot of sense and fill in some of those missing numbers. So let's take a look here. So what I'm doing here, number of servers, you can see we used 600. Let's use 1,000. Actually, you know what? Let's just use the real number. Why not? We have it. 1,174, and it's actually a little bit more. So we could go 1,200 because there were those like Major League and Elite, and that was all like the level that I was in, right? So that was 1,174 in my level, and then I think there's like 20 in the next and whatever. We could change that a little bit if we want. How many people are on each server? We estimated probably like 400. My server definitely has over 400 players. We might have 8,000. But I would guess most servers probably have somewhere around this. Obviously, if you're C1 or very old C2, or like one of those warlord C2s, you might have killed everybody off. Yeah, you might got like 75 players. You might be low, but think of all the new servers who still have like 800 players. So when Evony opens a new server, they're actually opening it just for the mass amount of players, not for the one whale they're going to get. So people who are like, oh, that one guy spending is keeping that server alive. They're making it so they won't ever merge because he spends too much. Might not be the case. So let's look. So we considered in our talk we were doing before, free to play was a person who spends $0 to $20 a month. $20 would be the average, because some of these free to plays might spend, $100 or $40 a month, a $10 pack here, a $5 pack here, and a lot of them might spend 0. So 20 becomes a nice little number. So if we go with the total number of players, we'll get to this in a minute. So this is total number of players in the middle column that are in each of these rows. So free to play, we're going to fill that in a minute. Low coiners. These are people who spend about $600 a month. So they're just doing cake 4 or 5 every single event, and they're just trying to get the low civilization gear, or maybe there's a champion in there. They might spend a little extra the one event, a little less. So $600 a month. And that $20 is a month, not per event. And then high coiners, they're doing half a cake or one full cake a month. And then whales, we're going 5,000 plus. And a whale might be doing 8,000, some might be doing 5,000. Let's just say that. Let's just say it's someone who's doing a royal cake once in a while and half a cake or a cake all the time. Okay, so let's and you'll see if we do adjust it to 8,000, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So what we estimated, there's about 125 K45s in all of Evony. So whales, if we put K45, and then if we expand this to some of the 44s, or sorry, 125, or maybe some of the like 42, 43 who are up and coming on the new servers, but it just takes time. They're spending 5K a month. So let's say we just make this like 400 players are spending $5,000 a month on this game. So we just raise, actually, you know what? Let's just go 500. Why not? And let's figure it out. So actually this should go over here, right into the total players area. And then I'm going to have to move over here into the total spend. And let's go to our calculator. So what is 500 players spending $5,000 a month giving Evony? $2.5 million. 2.5 times a year, that's 15 million. That's, or 17.5 million. That's not, right? 20, no, sorry, I'm wrong. 25 million is $30 million. So if that's $30 million a year, that's only like 10% of Evony's total revenue from their whales. And you could double that. You could say they're doing $10,000 a month. That's only 20% of the total money. Make that $5 million a month. And usually in most industries, it's 90% of the revenue comes from 10% of the players. And you're going to see that's the opposite here. So high coiners, $2,000 a month. This is going to be your players that are basically, they're your K41s in good alliances and all the way up to some K44s. Like I'm a K44 and I'd say my yearly spend, I'd fit in this coiner. I'm not a whale, but I take months off. I don't spend it for long times. And then my strategy is, you know what? I can catch up all in one event, 2 events, 3 events. That's kind of how the game goes. You buy and you get all the stuff from before. So why spend all the time and get it diluted? So let's just say there's 2,000 players like this in all of Evony. So let's do the math on this. 2,000 times 2,000. $4 million. Okay. So that's 4 million. And that's roughly $48 million in a year. And if you double that, to 100 and you add the whales, we're not even at half of Evony's revenue, right? So low coiners, how many low coiners is there? I would guess that low coiners actually isn't too much more than high coiners. Like it might even be like almost the same. Because when you get down to it, there's a lot of K39 to 42 who are just low coiners. They're just going through all that. But let's double it. Let's say there's 5,000 of them. And I highly doubt there is 5,000 low coiners in Evony. Because think about your alliance. What do you got? Like 3-4 people in your alliance doing that? Maybe 2 others on server if you're not in the top alliance. Maybe 5 others. So you're at like 10, right? So if there's... And that's probably really high estimate. Like my server probably has like 5 people like that. So let's change this actually. Let's go with 8,000. Just be nice there. So 8,000 times 600 a month. We're at $4.8 million. So you can see the trend here is as we get to the lower spenders, they're actually the ones that matter or the ones that are spending more. So free to play. So what we have to do here is go number of servers times average players per server. So 1,200 times 400, that's 480,000 players. When we did this last time, we estimated 280,000. And the guy was like, I'm telling you right now, I'll do this just like so you guys can kind of skew the numbers in your side and think whales matter. But there's way more than that. And he's right now looking at it. So I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he wants to be known for it all. But if he wants to, I'll do a follow-up and we'll thank him. Anyways, 480,000. And you could subtract these other ones. So subtract 10,000 from it. So let's just say there's And let's just pretend that there's not this many, right? So 465,000 to be nice. So 465, and we're going to multiply it by $20 a month. $9.3 million. Right? So let's go. 465,000. Wow. 9.3 million. So you could see that the free-to-play players spend way more just because of their sheer volume. Let's pretend they only spend $10 a month. On average, they only do a $5 pack once in a while. They're still at like $5 million, right? And even if they aren't half of the spending, they're the largest player base, right? So you count this up, and yeah, so if you add all of this up together, that is about $120 million being spent. So that's about 30 to 40% of the annual revenue coming from the extremely low spenders in Evony. So I'm convinced. He convinced me before doing this math, reinforcing it for myself, for you guys. This just goes to show you, reach out to everyone on your server, get them involved, let them know that everyone needs to be involved. And also, the wish list for what people want. Like, free players, what do you guys want? Like, maybe you won't be as ignored anymore. Like, put some of those demands that people do laugh at, right? And this truly is a coin strike for everyone. 40% of the player base used to use Aptoide when it got removed. Like, that's 40%. So that means there is a large percentage of the people spending $20 a month who are like, no, I ain't. I'm spending 16 because I'm using my Aptoide. And they might want it back. So it could be something that would interest them to get involved. So whatever it is, ask people on your server. We're getting down to the last 5 days. Ask them, like, what is worth fighting for you? And there's going to be some chats going on. I understand some YouTube videos, getting the message out again as we ramp up to the September 16th launch day. So join a friendly Discord. You could join mine. It's in the description to the video. Let your voice be heard. There also might be some like public events going on where people can listen and talk and get in the crowd and let their points be said. So don't be silent. Every player in Evony matters in this. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.